And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Ryan Metzler.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan Metzler here again, and today we're going to take a look at a game by Michael Schott, who has also done Zooloretto. You'll notice this is Zooloretto, so very much on the same line, and Veldora, which I reviewed not too long ago and didn't like. But why don't we take a look at this one and see if I like it. This is a game, it's a tile pulling game, much like Zooloretto is a card playing game, in which you're going to make sets of animals, and you're going to take a set of animals, maybe not the one that you want, but you're going to take a set of animals and add it to your collection in order to try and get points. So you'll be able to make 3 little collections of animals and score points appropriately. But before I cover the whole game in my intro, why don't we take a look at what you get inside this box. We'll see how it plays, which it plays 2 to 5 players, and then we'll come back here and we'll get my final opinions on this Schott title. So here you are looking at the components for Zooloretto Mini, and this is a 5-player game. That's evidenced by the 5 trucks out here. You can see we have a whole row of animals over here. We have deer and wolves and ostriches and rhinos, and these are all baby animals that you can get by having an appropriate male and female in a cage and having them mate in order to get the offspring, which is basically just a way to get more points. Now, on a player's turn, you'll see each player has their own little enclosure here. There's 3 enclosures, 1, 2, 3, and each can hold 6 tiles. And on a player's turn, they're going to draw a tile from this bag, or they're going to take one of these trucks. But since there's nothing in the trucks, they're going to draw a tile from the bag. And it's going to be some type of animal, or it's going to be some type of feature. In this case, it's a rhinoceros. So they can take this and they can place it on any truck they want. And then they would pass the bag full of tiles to the next player, who would then draw a tile, and they would place it. So it's a meerkat now. Maybe they place it here. And it continues on in this manner, you know, drawing and placing. Now we have, you can see here, we have a female deer. So this is going to be a trait that's important, because if there's a male and a female in the same enclosure, and each enclosure can only hold one type of animal, you're going to get an extra animal. You would get the offspring as soon as both the male and female are placed together. And you keep pulling. So these are going to start to fill up. You'll see we have a giraffe now. And somebody could place in the same one, maybe. Somebody's going for meerkats, so they place 2 meerkats in the same spot. Anyhow, on your turn, you can decide either to pull a tile from this bag, or you can decide to take one of these trucks. Now, let's say maybe I decide I want these 2 meerkats. I don't want somebody to place something here before I have a chance to take it. So they pull this out, and they must immediately place all of the animals in there in one of their enclosures, or actually in any of their enclosures. So they could split these meerkats up, but they wouldn't do that. They'd want to put them in the same one, because the more animals of the same type you have in an enclosure, the more points they're worth at the end of the game. And you can see that on your board here. It's going to be hard to see, but 1 animal is worth 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3, 4 is 4. But if you get up to 5, you get 8 points. So there's a boost for having more animals of the same type. Now, in addition to animals, there are also going to be enclosures, or tiles that can go in your enclosure that are called landscape tiles. And they look something like this. Now, these would be placed on a truck just like a normal tile, and when they're taken, they can be placed in any one of your enclosures. They don't have to match an animal, obviously, because they're not animal specific, but they go in one of your enclosures, and they will count as 2 points at the end of the game for each one you have. Now, if you ever get an animal that you can't place, let's say you happen to have a rhino here, and you have a deer here, and at some point you end up with a truck with a deer and an ostrich, and you have to take it because all of these other ones have been taken. Each player can only take 1 truck on their turn, and once they've taken a truck, they're out. So let's say you're stuck with this truck. Now, you may want to pull a 3rd animal, and maybe you get another deer. That's great. You have the 2 deer, and you happen to have an ostrich. Well, you have to take this, and you would place your 2 deer in this pen. You have a male and a female now, so you immediately get an offspring, which is going to get placed here. And you get another female. That doesn't give you another offspring. You have to have the pair. But you also happen to have this ostrich, which you can't place, and it's going to go in your barn, and that's going to be negative points at the end of the game. So basically, you're going to try and collect like-type animals, male and female, or neutral. Get babies, get the most types of animals, or the most of each type of animal you're collecting in one area, until this bag runs out of tiles, and then you'll start pulling from this stack here, guarded by the little panda, or my bigger panda that I like to use, and this is going to be the pile that signifies the end of the game, and you're going to play through the round until, using these tiles until everybody's gotten their truck for that round, and after that round, whoever has the most points by having animals in here, and the least negative points, obviously, by avoiding getting animals in their barn, is going to be the winner.
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.